The following is a presentation of The Day.
Welcome to Live Lunch Break, and thanks for joining us. We do this every noon at Thursday on theday.com. My name is Rick Coster. Proud to be host as we enter into the 14th year of Live Lunch Break. We plan on going for 207 more. We're coming at you from the Telegraph Record Store in New London today because after months of good weather, Bruce, we had so hoped to be outdoors at the Hygienic Art Park, and the monsoon hit.
It did.
We are with our friend Bruce McDermott, who this is your second time on Live Lunch Break.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
The good thing about Bruce, many good things, myriad good things, but one of them is not only that he's have a new CD called Graces and Contentions, which I'm holding right here, and which you can get down to the Telegraph and buy because the rain has sort of stopped for a minute. So race down here. You can also see Bruce perform. We're going to talk a little bit, too, about the fact that Bruce, I don't know how you do what you do because his music is across a lot of spectrums. He's also a poet, a sculptor, and a painter. And I have to figure out which day, whether it's the day to wash the underwear or the blues and the color stuff, and that boggles my mind. So I don't know how you do any of that stuff, but a very talented guy. And here come people now to buy the CD. This is tremendous.
We'll give him a special break because it's
Special
so
break.
rainy out.
This is Bruce McDermott.
This is called Leaving Is Not Something I Can Do. It has a rainy day motif in it. It's a rainy day, think I'll stay inside and read a book or watch TV. Rivulets edge down the window pane and merge into a sea of changes. Even though there's no sun today, I'll think about my lady. Shopping to do, a war somewhere distant. Leaving is not something I can do. Leaving is not something I can do. Now I suppose that I could volunteer, maybe do something for the ages. But does it really matter in the scheme of things? Or should I just keep on turning pages? Even though there's no sun today, I'll think about my lady. Shopping to do, a war somewhere distant. Leaving is not something I can do. Leaving is not something I can do. Thank you. Thank you. This is a song called When We Were New. That ain't gonna work. Let's see. I just broke that high E string when we came in the door here, so it's a little finicky right now with the weather. When we were new was a delight. In those times way back then, everything was alright. I held you so close that the red and the blue turned the beginnings of love out of mood, out of mood. I'll never love again like this. No, not like this. I'll never love again like this. No, not like this. I'll never love again. I'll never love again like this, like this. Ever wandering pathways that circled through the town, held my mind much too long to the ground. And now the colors seem like the fabric of a dream. Life's closer lived than it ever seemed, than it ever seemed. But I'll never love again like this. No, not like this. I'll never love again like this. No, not like this. I'll never love again. I'll never love again like this. No, not like this. Ever wandering pathways that circled through the town, held my mind much too long to the ground. And now the colors seem like the fabric of a dream. Life's closer lived than it ever seemed. I'll never love again like this. I'll never love again like this. No, not like this. I'll never love again. I'll never love again like this. No, not like this. Like this. Thank you. This is a song called Highway Sounds. don't know where I'm going. I don't know and I don't care. Now there's lots of things to see now. Now I'll find some people there. Good meals and warm loving, they're things I dream of. Maybe some young girls, daughters of mine. And the highway has the promise of places new again. New places, new faces, new friends. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know, and I don't care. Lots of things to see. Now I'll find some people there. And the highway has the sound of seashells through the ear. Makes you think of green hills rolling, brings on a tear. And the highway has the promise of places new again. New faces, new friends. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know, and I don't care. Lots of things to see. I'll find some people there. And the highway's my religion. It's the comfort that I feel. Makes the pages of my Bible all seem so unreal. And the highway has the promise of places new again. New faces, new friends. Thank you. I'm gonna do a little blues thing. This is called Anxiety Blues. All you have to do is read the news. In the day today was some really interesting articles. I like the one about the guy who had a wildlife farm and the camel killed him because he didn't have any Coca-Cola. Don't know what I'm gonna do today. Having trouble finding my own way. I listen to the news and it's no good. I'd do something about it if I could. You know, I'd do something about it if I could. But nothing is the same as it used to be. Everywhere we look, no one's to blame. Sorry you came all this way to hear me complain. Oh, to hear me complain. Someday I hope to retire, leave this old rat race behind, collect my Social Security, as long as there's enough there for me, as long as there's enough there for me. Now nothing is the same as it used to be. Everywhere we look, no one's to blame. Sorry you came all this way to hear me complain. Hear me complain. Now someday I hope to retire, leave this old rat race behind, collect my social security, as long as there's enough there for me, as long as there's enough there for me. Nothing is the same as it used to be. Everywhere we look, no one's to blame. Sorry you came all this way to hear me complain. Hear me complain. Thank you.
Bruce McDermott, everyone, on a rainy day. What a nice, varied selection of 4 songs that we just heard. And that makes me ask, because I look back over of the albums that you've released, and was that last one on the blues record?
That was, yes, it was. And I almost remembered it, too.
We couldn't tell.
I know.
This is Rick Coster, live lunch break here in the Telegraph, and this is the second time we've been privileged to have Bruce McDermott with us. Since the last time you were here, though, you have recorded and released a brand new album, which is what did I do with that?
I don't know. It's right over there, though.
I had it. Hold on. That was sort of arthritic and it sort of hurt, but Graces and Contentions is the name of it, and I think Pete is getting a close-up as we speak. How's that working for you, Peter? Excellent. Graces and Contentions, when I was listening to it, I thought there was a theme to it. I didn't think that it was just a collection of songs that you hadn't written. Is that fair?
Yes, actually, yeah. As I've kind of progressed through this, making these CDs and writing different songs, perhaps with age comes a little bit of wisdom and a little bit of thankfulness that some of these things, that they've worked out well for you. And on the other hand, some things haven't worked out, and there's always that question of mortality sitting in the background. But for sure, I think you're always thankful that you have some love in your life, friends, and reasonable health, and you put the other stuff on the back burner.
Yeah, I think. Well, there's one particular song that resonated with me, and Bruce gave me sort of an advance copy of it with no cover, and I don't know the name of it. It's maybe the 4th or 5th song, but I think it's literally a song about passing over. Am I right?
Is it Meals on Wheels? Is that the one? About a guy. I was down in Houston, and I went out with a friend of mine who asked me to accompany her on the Meals for Wheels program, and we visited all these people in Houston. Not necessarily in the best part of Houston, but sometimes in the good part of Houston, and was just amazed at the resilience of some of these older people. How they carried on, but they all needed to have some help.
Right.
So I don't know, that is about that particular thing.
Well, there was one that you're literally like waiting in the train station.
Oh yeah.
Am I right? Am I talking?
Yeah, that's true.
What song is that?
It's called White Light, and okay. I didn't practice that one for today.
Oh, well, that's okay.
But it's on the album, and it's you have to listen to the lyrics a bit to understand what it's all about.
Well, I was sitting at work typing away, and I had Bruce's new CD on in the headphones, and sort of just listened to it over and over again. And maybe the second time it came on, I was like, "Wait a minute! I've got to grasp this," because we are all getting older, and you never know when it's going to be that last moment. And that song painted a fairly nice, compelling picture, and I thought there was some optimism going on.
Well, there is, absolutely, and it's the lyrics I think are pretty cool, considering what they deal with.
Well, the fortunate thing for all of you guys here in the Telegraph today is that Bruce brought several copies, and I think it would do you good to see what's going on with that record. But I had a question for you, and I sort of alluded to this in the introduction. If y'all came a little later or didn't know this, not only is Bruce's music span everything from blues to folk to what I would call pop, he's made an album of what I think is really excellent, sort of ambient, almost new age music. So there's this whole variety. We don't know what you're thinking on any given day when you pick up the guitar. But on top of that, he is a renowned sculptor, painter, and poet. So, Mr. Muse, when you wake up, what do you reach for? A pen, a block of marble, a guitar? How does that work?
It's I've heard this question asked of many artists before, and frankly, I don't know. It kind of happens naturally. It's nothing that's forced, unless I'm painting. That's a different deal, or making a piece of sculpture. But I've left that on the back burner for a bit while I'm doing the music and poetry thing. Writing poetry, when the mood strikes you, really more than anything else, when something just like hits you. And that can be anytime, anywhere. I just came through an airport the other day, and it was such a disaster. I wrote a poem about it.
Dallas?
No, it wasn't Dallas. It was Los Angeles, which is something else again. But the music thing, it can be just simply strumming a guitar chord. It can be an emotion. It usually starts with an emotion of some kind.
What's the difference between a poem and a song lyric? Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're
actually,
not.
I've turned some of the poems into songs. One of the poets downtown here, Jake St. John, he wrote a poem called When I Was You, which I wrote some music for it because as soon as I heard it, it was just that kind of a thing. But generally speaking, with the poetry, you can throw in a lot more imagery than you can with a song. And sometimes you have to make a song rhyme so that you can remember it. And you don't have to do that with poetry. And there's a couple poets here I see that have, I'm sure, experienced that. And we generally do the poetry thing at the Bean and Leaf on Thursday nights, so.
Hey, that would be tonight.
Going to be down there tonight, so.
It's a rainy day.
Show up.
Already
Yeah, maybe
said.
the rain will have stopped by then.
Or maybe it will just compel you to seek out that sort of company.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad thing. Have you ever sculpted a guitar and then played it?
No. I have sculpted a banjo.
Have you, really?
Yeah.
How'd that work
out? Of metal.
Okay. How'd that work out?
It worked out really well.
Okay. You just alluded to some poets. Are you going to read tonight if you show up? Or
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You have a chapbook out from Good Cop, Bad Cop. Tell me about that.
It's a very small collection of poems. A chapbook is a small selection of poems. And it usually sells for like $5 or something like that when people pick it up. And it's just designed to give you an entree into somebody's mind about what they're writing. It's not a real compendium by any means. I do have enough poems now to make a book, so I've got to start looking around for a publisher.
All right.
Either that or I have to do it myself.
Now, with the age that we are in of the internet and social media and stuff, a lot of particularly musicians do what they call bundles, where you can say, go online and say, well, you can have the new CD and we'll throw in a T-shirt and an autographed photo, and it's a discount. So what I'm looking forward to is the Bruce McDermott bundle that would have the chapbook, a couple of CDs.
That sounds like a great idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Sculpture, painting.
Hadn't thought of that, Rick.
I can be your merch guy.
Okay.
I can do that. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here on a rainy day. We're going to listen to some more from Bruce McDermott. Thank you for joining us on Live Lunch Break. And Bruce?
Okay. Thanks. Kind of a little fun thing. I've been to the great north woods of far off Maine, and I fished along her coast for things that crawl. But I thirsted for Louisiana's fine Cajun fare, but there a fine Cajun lass laid my soul bare. People try to tell me I should settle down. You wanna turn me over till I am golden brown. You may see me sitting with my guitar along the road. Just stop and say hello, lighten up your load. Now I'm on a platform and I'm waiting for a train that'll take me all the way to I don't know where. I stayed too long. She's looking at wedding gowns. You know, I almost fell in love. I almost drowned. People try to tell me I should settle down. They wanna turn me over till I'm golden brown. You may see me sitting with my guitar along the road. Just stop and say hello, lighten up your load. Thank you. It's a thing called solar flare. I like the way you look at me when you fix me with that stare. Do you see forgotten memories? And was I even there? Still I look at you for ways to find conjunctions in the air, and hope we'll see eternity flash like a solar flare. You can't find the way without me, it won't mean much. Level 3 is that eternity. Level 3 is that eternity. Living in a lockdown world, can we triumph without steel? We never had a chance, you know. And who has the seventh seal? Let's not keep the masses up. They're watching TV tonight. They'll just crash and burn, you know. It was written long ago. If I can't find the way without you, it won't mean much. Level 3 is that eternity. Level 3 is that eternity. Thank you. That's kind of one of those passing over songs. One of my favorite songwriters is Cole Porter, and I tried to write a song that kind of had some of that flavor to it. It's called The Window of My World. You came into the window of my world, and there I was, waiting for you. I was one who thought that love was not for me, but I was just waiting for you. It seems so easy now, the two of us, but what's after love? I'd like to know. What's after love? I'd like to know. Evening falls and lights all over town grow bright, and I think of how it was before you. Mornings we have coffee, just we two and the paper, reading funny stories to each other. It seems so easy now, the two of us, but what's after love? I'd like to know. What's after love? I'd like to know. Thank you. This is a thing called Aces and Eights, and it's a kind of a riff a little bit on Wild Bill Hickok when he was shot dead in, I don't know what saloon it was, but somewhere out west, and in his hand were aces and eights. They told me you were trouble, not the kind to stick around with a gambler, but I thought I'd try my luck. Well, my head's been handed to me, you're walking out that door. How many have you dealt that hand to before? Why can't I let you go and move on just to laugh and try to get off this tortured path? I was holding aces, but with eights a bad luck hand. I think it's time to fold. Wasn't Wild Bill a gambling man? Yeah, I thought I was holding aces when I fell in love with you, and we danced all night to a lover's tune. So why am I sitting here by myself in an empty room? I did believe you when you said you'd be home soon. Why can't I let you go and move on with just a laugh and try to get off this tortured path? I was holding aces alright, but with eights a bad luck hand. Think it's time to fold. Wasn't Wild Bill a careful man? Why can't I let you go and move on with just a laugh? Try to get off this tortured path. I was holding aces, but with eights a bad luck hand. I think it's time to fold. Wasn't Wild Bill a careful man? Wasn't Wild Bill a careful gambling man? Aces and eights.
Thank you so much, Bruce McDermott. Thank you guys for being at the Telegraph. The album is called Graces and Contentions. You hold it up, Bruce. It's your album. Thank you guys so much for being here. You know what? After 50 weeks or whatever, next week we're going to take a week off. We haven't done that in I don't know how long. We'll be back in a fortnight. Remember, not only can you see Bruce McDermott's performances at theday.com, Peter Whoppy archives all of these shows, and click on them 300-400 times. We could use the help, and I think you would enjoy it. Bruce, continued success. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Goodbye from Live Lunch Break.